So this is my Ryobi chainsaw. Hopefully you can hear me because it started to rain a little bit harder out here. I'm out at a campsite where I come out and I clear land, and I use my Ryobi tools to do that. So this is the 40 volt model. You can get the 18 volt model as well. My advice would be, regardless of which model you get, the 18 volt or the 40 volt, you want to make sure that you get a battery that has high amp hours. So try to get something that has at least 4 amp hours. If you buy a chainsaw and it comes with a battery that has less, I'd recommend getting an extra battery. It's always good to have extra batteries. Anyways, I have multiple Ryobi batteries and multiple Ryobi tools. So let me show you some of the features of this awesome saw. So first you have this cover here, which goes over the blade. This is super useful because this keeps your blade protected. I store this inside a shipping container when I'm not here on the land, so I keep it dry, and I always put this on. Let me show you what it looks like when you take it off. This is what the chain looks like, and this chain has held up really well. I've had this for over a year. I have used this to clear tons of land and cut tons of trees. If you look over here, you see that driveway that was cleared with Ryobi tools. Where I'm sitting right now, this land that I'm sitting on was all wild land, and it was cleared with Ryobi tools. So I have used these extensively, and look, the chain is still in great shape, right? What a great tool. You know, you can spend more money and get a different brand, and a lot of people think Ryobi is kind of like, a budget brand. That might be true, but I was able to use it for my purposes to clear raw land, and it held up really well. One thing about chainsaws is that you don't want the saw to go into the sand. And check this out. It's just sitting here on this table. Right? By the way, I found this table on the land. It's just buried in the sand, kind of a fun story. But look, it doesn't hit the table. So a lot of chainsaws, when you set them down, they do this, and they hit the sand. For example, I have a Black & Decker chainsaw that's electric. It's that you plug in, and whenever I set it down, it does this. So if you have a chainsaw that does that, like say you watch this video and you decide to get a different chainsaw, what you want to do is you want to put something there, so when you set your chainsaw down, it doesn't hit the ground. And the reason I say that is you don't want to get sand in your chainsaw. If you get sand on your chain, it can wear out your chainsaw, so never put it in the sand. So this chainsaw, despite being an electric chainsaw which uses a lithium battery, does use oil. So this is where the oil goes. You can see how dirty it is. And the reason is there's some oil that got on the cap and on the surrounding areas. And the reason that happens is when you get any chainsaw and you store it, you don't want to do this, okay? And you also don't want to do this. And so what happened was, when I first got this, I didn't have the shipping container. So I had plastic buckets, and I would put this in a plastic bucket and throw a tarp over it to keep it out of the rain. As you can see, it's raining right now. And it would tilt, and the oil would come out. And this is not a fault of Ryobi, okay? This is just something that happens with all chainsaws. Every chainsaw I've ever had, and I've had lots because I used to do tree work many years ago, would leak a little bit of oil. So it's completely normal. So always store it upright. So again, 2 important things: keep your chain out of the sand, store it upright. So this comes with an instruction booklet that tells you how to use it. It actually teaches you how to cut down trees, which is really interesting. It teaches you like the different cuts you can make to cut down trees. And if you just follow the directions carefully, you'll be able to cut down some pretty big trees with this chainsaw, I think. I mean, I was able to cut down trees by following the directions. Plus, I did have some experience, but I had someone with me who did not have experience, and she was also able to cut down trees using this Ryobi chainsaw. So I was really impressed. So you use your left hand to hold it here, and it's got this is like a protection thing. And the reason they have this thing here is sometimes when you're cutting stuff, and this hasn't happened to me yet, not with this chainsaw, you'll hit something and the saw will kick back on you. And the last thing you want is the saw to kick back and, cut you. It's really dangerous. So this is like a protection thing. And then you use your right hand to hold this. You pull the trigger down here, you push this down, you hit the trigger, and it turns on. Right now I have the battery that is not on, right? So I'll put the battery in a minute and show you that. Over here is where you tighten the chain. So there's 2 bolts, and it comes with the tool. It's really easy, and the instructions explain how to do that. So if you just read the directions, it will tell you how to, do that. This is a great chainsaw. It's very, very lightweight. I'm really, really impressed with it. And I am very happy with my purchase. I've had it for over a year. I use it all the time. I'm running out of firewood, so I need to, get some more firewood. So I'm going to be using this shortly. So you see all this firewood here was cut with that Ryobi chainsaw. And this firewood is actually not from the land that I'm sitting on. It's from a different land that I was clearing. I cleared 2 different lots with the Ryobi chainsaw. So this wood has been transplanted to this lot here, and I keep it dry with this tarp, and it was cut with that Ryobi chainsaw. Look how dry it is. It works great with this wonderful tarp, which I also got on Amazon. Here is the battery that goes with this chainsaw. Now, when you buy these on Amazon, you can get, again, the 40 volt, the 18 volt. You can get just the tool. You can get the tool with the battery, and possibly even the tool with the battery and the charger. So this is the 40 volt. This one's 4 amp hour, which is pretty good. I would recommend if you do get the 18 volt model, try to get a higher amp hour like this, or even higher if possible. They make some that are less amp hours, which do run out fast. Here's what I'm talking about. Here's an 18 volt lithium battery from Ryobi, and this one's 1.5 amp hours. So like if you get an 18 volt chainsaw, it could be the case that it comes with one of these. If it does, that's okay. My advice would be to get another one, and if possible, get one that's higher amp hours. This will run out, the 1.5 amp hour, but if you go up to 4 amp hours, you'll be shocked at how long your saw will run. So it does make a difference, okay? The higher the amp hour, the longer your Ryobi tool will run. Here you see you have a ton of Ryobi tools, really good product. Hi, so here's the chainsaw, and I've gone ahead and put in the 40 volt battery. So to turn it on, you just pull this back like this and hit the trigger. Yeah, really nice. So this is the 14 inch model. 40 volt model. You can get it in 18 volts, and people always wonder, what can you cut with this? So I think with something like this, you can probably get through like a tree that's about 12 inches in diameter, possibly. I've cut a lot of trees with this. I mean, again, we have all this firewood here that has been cut, and there was a lot more since we've been burning it that was cut. Look at that one. That's pretty thick. That was cut with this chainsaw. So if you zoom in here, you can see that's a pretty thick tree. This thing it's like butter. It cuts all of this wood, no problem at all. If you get an 18 volt saw, okay, that's okay. But again, I recommend that you get something that has higher amp hours. This is 4 amp hours. I think a lot of times those tools come with batteries that are 1.5 amp hours, which is technically enough, but again, it always helps to have more than one battery. I think I have at least 4 batteries and 3 chargers and a ton of Ryobi tools. So just turn on one more time so you see it. Yeah, really good saw. You don't need gas. All you need to do is charge it. So works great. I actually use solar power to charge my tools for 2 months, and I was able to clear all of this land. So great product. Also, this is the charger for the 40 volt Ryobi chainsaw. They make different chargers. This is just one type of charger, and then you plug this into the wall. So that's what a 40 volt charger looks like. And again, there's different models you can get. Sometimes the saws come with the charger, sometimes they don't. To take it off, all you do is you press this button and you pull it off. I don't know if I can do it with one hand. Let's see if I can. Yep, I can. Look at that. You see? So it just slides right off, and then you just slide it back on. You just get it right there. And then you just do that. Boom, you're good to go. And now you're ready to charge. You just plug it in. Let me show you the 18 volt charger, because I have one of those too. So if you get the 18 volt saw, you can get a charger for that as well. Let me show you. So if you decide to get the 18 volt version on Amazon, sometimes they come with chargers that look like this. There's different types of chargers. This is just an example of an 18 volt charger. And again, there's slightly different models. And this is the 1.5 amp hour battery. This one's okay. Try to get a better one if you can, but it does work pretty well. So basically you just take this and it just snaps in. Boom, you're good to go. And then you just set it there like that, or actually like that. And that's it, right? You just let it charge, and it's got some little lights here and it tells you when it's charged. The 40 volt also does the same thing. It'll let you know with the green light to indicate that it's charged. Then you just plug this into the wall. So again, you have 2 choices. You can go with the 40 volt or with the 18 volt. Both are awesome. This is just a great chainsaw. I can talk about this chainsaw for an hour. I mean, it is just so good. So many experiences with the saw. I've cut so many trees down, so many, branches. It's good for trees, you know, if you're going to be clearing, like, let me show you. If you're going to be clearing stuff like that over there, like that tall grass, I don't use the chainsaw. I use like loppers, a hand tool. That seems to work better, but for trees and for branches, I think the chainsaw works. Again, keep it out of the sand, store it upright, and make sure to get at least a 4 amp hour battery. 40 volt is better than 18 volt. Both are okay. If you get the 18 volt, chances are, I'm not positive, it might come with a 1.5 amp hour battery. If it does, my advice is to get another one. And once you start collecting Ryobi tools, what's going to happen is you're going to have several Ryobi tools. I have tons of Ryobi tools, and I'm very, very loyal to Ryobi. I have other brands too, but because I already have several batteries, it makes it very, very convenient to keep collecting Ryobi tools. I hope this video has been helpful. Take care.